Hey friends! Hey friends, let's get right to it. This is our intermediate pelvic floor workout. Once again, this is a little bit more targeted for people who are coming out of rehab or chronic pain. I really like bar method workouts for more advanced. You could just hit pause on this video and do more repetitions, and I'll give you some other options to up the challenge if you want. We're only gonna do about 10 repetitions, 10 counts of everything, so feel free to do more. Okay, I have a ball with me for one of the things that we're gonna do. Feel free to have a foam roller nearby. Just think a ball is kinder to the spine. So, on your back, we're gonna first do bridge lifts with feet in a V. So I'm gonna try to get my whole foot pressed together, inner heels and big toes. I'm gonna walk my heels to my groin. I'm gonna press my outer knees out, and I am lifting for 10. Then I'm gonna take my ball, I'm gonna put it right about where my base of my shoulder blades are, and staying in the diamond, and I'm going over. I'm gonna relax my neck, head, and jaw. I'm gonna kind of lead with my sternum down, traction up with my thumbs as I lift. I am not a fan of straight up crunches. I feel like we do too much already that's hunched forward. So I'm a bigger fan of extension, which is what my spine is doing right now, to neutral. And I typically like leading up on an exhalation. Okay, now I could stay up for this next set. That I think is gonna be easier. I'm gonna choose to go over and do 5 on each side of a lift of my leg, but I'm focusing on, once again, my heel and toe being in the same plane. If I wanted to make this harder beyond just doing more repetitions, you could play with doing both legs at one time. So you could also kind of stay chest up on the ball and then just double or lift the legs at the same time, both legs. Okay, then I'm gonna ditch the ball. On my stomach, still playing with this diamond shape. Heels together, toes apart. I'm pulling back with my pinky toes to the outsides of my knees as I push up for 10. Then I'm going to try to keep my knees elevated. I'm going to pull in with hamstring curls. Back of my neck is long, and I'm breathing. If this just tightens your lower back, don't do it. You want to feel it in your glutes. Then I'm going to go for all fours. Hands and knees are underneath me, leg is bent. I could, if I wanted to, put the ball here behind my knee to activate my hamstring. That kind of bugs one of my knees, so I don't do it. And I'm going straight out to the side. You could do point or flex toes. Sometimes I just play with both, so I just did 5 pointed. I'm gonna do 5 flexed. Then I'm gonna kick that leg straight. I'm gonna go to a pointed toe. I'm gonna go touch as far as I can out to the side, or really up. I'm gonna make a big rainbow circle, swirling my hip around to touch to the other side. You will feel your neck counter this. That is natural. That's what the spine does. Okay, and then I'm gonna flip around for the camera. Same on the other side. So I've got leg lifts out to the side and comes down. You're ideally on the stable leg, trying to keep the hip over the knee. I'm working on this stuff too, so my hip is a little outside of my knee, and I can feel my neck tensing here. It's just, it is all a process. Last one, kick it out straight. Rainbow taps. That's 1, 2. And this is my knee that I injured, so it has a tendency to want to bend and get a little lazy. So I really have to focus on keeping my knee straight and making the work happen at the hip. 6. Then we'll move on to the inner thighs. For my inner thighs, I have a towel. You could use a TheraBand or even some kind of a yoga strap. And I have that on my bottom leg. I'm gonna pull it up as high to my chest as I can. Other leg is stable on the ground. This one it almost may be an intention, because I don't, and sometimes I'll actually put my hand more back here and just have a pillow right here. I don't want to teeter open with my pelvis. The action should only come from the inner thigh. So I'm trying to lift the leg, ideally without tensing anywhere else. I can feel my back tipping, so I'm gonna hold it. Notice that I am not clearing too much height. Okay, we'll flip to the other side. The first time I ever learned this one, it was like, you've got to be kidding me that the leg is actually supposed to lift. One side was, doable. The other side was like, nada. Nothing is happening. Yep, I'm going to hold on this side too. Having the foot pulled back just really keeps you honest about using just your inner thigh and not just tensing your ankle. And then lastly, we're gonna get into our squat series. So this, I really like this one with the ball. It's gonna go up in inner thighs. We're basically kind of doing, for lack of a better word, what I think of as a stripper squat. So I'm trying to go straight down a wall, keep the weight onto the middle toes, not the outer toes, and come up. And to lead myself up, I want to feel like I'm lifting up from my pelvic floor. So it's kind of like my heels are pushing, my toes are pushing down into the floor, but then my pelvic floor is drawing up off of that connection. If this is too much, just do it on your heels. And it can be helpful to do this one in a mirror because you really do want to make sure that you're not doing this, which is what everybody does. I have to think about it quite a bit myself. It is a lot of calves and quads. And as per usual, I am terrible about counting, particularly when I'm trying to give instruction on a camera. Who knew that that was its own skill set? Okay, then I'm gonna go into a wide plie. It's another one where it can be helpful to hold on to something. We're going to be like so. So my toes are pointed outwards. Go as far out as you want so that you can see my back. I'm actually gonna give it to you from this view. So I'm turned out. I am tucking my tail under in this case actually, and I'm going down and coming up. And I'm trying to shoot my knees over my second and third toes. So I'm pressing my knees out as I go down. So for this, you could obviously do more. You could also stay low and then hold, or stay low and do some pulses. We are going to do a second set on the balls of the feet. So now I'm like so, and I'm going down. This is another one where I always have to check that my feet are in the same parallel. And I can actually see in the camera, this is my other common error, and this is an error with a lot of people, that one leg is further out than the other. So if I draw a line from my pubic bone, this leg looks a little too far out, so I'm gonna smidge it in just a little bit. So now my left glute has to work harder. Same thing here, I could hold, I could do pulses. You could also just choose to do one leg at a time. And then lastly, for this series, we're gonna do some hip flexor lifts. So I'm going to just lift legs straight up and down. You could point or flex here. So we're gonna do 5 with the leg as is. We're gonna do 5 with the leg turned out. It's a different muscle. And then to the other side. I suppose if you wanted to make this one harder, you could also go up onto the ball of the foot on the other side. And then turning out. Then also paying attention, I know with this one, I feel myself wanting to twist as I do it. It's another common thing that I see on the weaker side. And last one. Great, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed our brief intermediate pelvic floor workout.